Okay, Allan Karl, WorldRider here in Castelsardo, Sardinia. And I'm going to give you a little ride. I'm going to actually take you on a ride today. Let me get on the bike and show you exactly what's going on here. This is a bit of an experiment. Okay, this is a 3-camera shoot involving one motorcycle and one motorcycle rider. Okay, let's start this bad boy up. And you can see behind me is the cool fortress and hilltop town of Castelsardo. It kind of just spills into the streets and down the cliffs of the coastline here, dipping into the Mediterranean. Okay, let's continue on the road. Anyway, that's Castelsardo behind me. That is the cool little town, cobblestone streets, the usual medieval stuff that you imagine. And anyway, I've got 3 cameras. They're all different. So there's different color spaces, there's different angles in terms of at least the field of view. Look at that. That's, and this shot that we just saw came from the Osmo 360, the new 360 camera developed by DJI. But you can see it's just perched up above the Mediterranean. I'm going to have to pull over here a bit. I just realized that we're going to go a little bit north on the island, and I forgot to activate my comm system, my SC2 inside my Schubert helmet here. It connects to my iPhone, so at least I can hear prompts in there. So I'm going to just pull over here for a second. And what you're seeing here is a helmet cam, if you will. There's a helmet right there. That's my Osmo Action 4. It's kind of mounted to the side of the helmet. And then here I'm going to plug in the iPhone, make sure it's charging. By the way, I always seem to forget, but I don't use the little iPhone holder you see on the bike because that time in Greece a couple years ago, I had it on there and I vibrated the hell out of it and ruined my camera. Lucky to find a camera before I really got deep into my journey. Anyway, behind me is that Osmo 360. You got to leave the cable plugged in, the power cable to the iPhone. Otherwise, that screen, and I can barely see it through the plastic of my tank bag, but I look at that and I'm able to go ahead and at least visually confirm if I'm making a right or left or whatever, the Aussie babe who gives me my turn-by-turn directions. Anyway, facing me, which you don't see right now, but this camera taking the picture is the Osmo Action 5. So I've got an Osmo Action 5 mounted to the bike on the windshield. I've got an Osmo Action 4 mounted on my helmet, and this shot, which is wacky perspective, is the Osmo 360. So this coastline is pretty damn cool. So I'm going to try to give you a visual on this. I realized that I probably had my Action 4, this one right here, angled a little bit too low. So some of those shots you're going to see, you don't really get the horizon, which is what you want normally in this situation. But again, this was just a test. It was my first day in Sardinia and using all of these cameras. Now look how cool this is. Now yes, I've got that DJI selfie stick kind of thing, and you do every once in a while get a little wobble. I will look to see if I can. It's stabilized pretty good. Later I'll do a video about how I mounted all this stuff, but you'll get a little wobble once in a while. Yeah, look behind me again. We just had that shot of Castelsardo. I don't know, maybe when I round this corner we can switch back to that. Anyway, you can get a little bit of wobble, but maybe I'll get a little beefier selfie stick, or just not have it fully so extended. You see when you're cruising, it's pretty good. Now, you got 2 cameras basically on that 360, and they are getting merged in the software called DJI Studio. I love when you're able to do these little full shots. It's almost like you're doing a dolly shot or a one of these rider kind of shot. Of course, you get the shadow of the Osmo on me. But the cool thing about this is using a multicam. I edit this stuff in Final Cut Pro. Okay, Final Cut Pro has the ability to create what they call multicam clips, and I know I'm getting a little geeky on the editing, but I'm able to bring them in, sync everything, so really you're getting the exact. Now look at that coastline, gorgeous. You're getting a little bit of warping because I'm trying to give you a panoramic view. And I noticed that as you zoom in, and I believe I shot this in 4K, and I think it's compatible to 8K, but I don't know what the software is. But when you really, create that field of view and zoom in, you can get some artifacting and some pixelating. But again, I'm just trying this to see what the possibilities are, to take a cool little cruise like this in an exotic locale. Now it's funny because you're looking at the 360 here, and because it's a little out the way that I edited that, it almost looked like I was riding off the road, but obviously I'm not. But this is perfect synchronization. I'm cutting between cameras. The Action 5 I think has the best color, and of course it had, I had the perfect lighting too. So the other two cameras are getting the lesser of the good lighting, I guess you'd say. But they still look good. This Action 4 doesn't look bad, but it's a little backlit. Here, yeah, pretty cool. The color's not matching perfect, but I did a quick little color match on it. But it's practical. You can see how that sky ahead of me there, and of course my Action 4 is not tilted up enough on this particular sun. But now I kind of pull back, and you get like a cool little perspective. Anyway, it's kind of fun checking this stuff out. I've got a lot more traveling to do on this trip, so I'll bring. Oh, look at the bicyclists, and you'll stand by. See how that syncs up nicely. And there you got a nice perspective as if you're looking down on me, kind of like those cameras in our car. How do they do that? This thing's obviously above my head by about, no, not even a foot, I don't think. If you were to, you can't really tell in this shot. But anyway, 3-camera shoot, all DJI Osmo cameras, 3 different ones, 3 different color. I did apply some grading to it, but not much. I did not shoot in log, so this is out of the camera, then graded additionally. Not the ideal way to do this, but what can I say? There's a little wobble. But this is the stunning, beautiful landscapes of Sardinia. Have you ever been here? This is on the west side, northwest side of the island. It's arid in parts, and then obviously very lush and green in parts. I'm headed to a place called Costa Paradiso. It's a development that is around these kind of brown granite rocks, big tumblers, it looks like, and I'll show you later in another video. But they're kind of, all the homes and the development is built to make it look like it's part of the landscape, and that's kind of why I really wanted to check it out, to see how they did this. Kind of like what they did, if you know of Sea Ranch in Mendocino County in California. That's when I read about it, made me think of it. The architect that did design Sea Ranch intended to make sure that anyway, that everything kind of looked and blended with the landscape. So I'm pulling over on the side of the road here, just winding down my experiment. Fussing with my kickstand here. It's always something to get a wrong angle. I've got this extended kickstand that if I'm not, if I'm slightly uphill, uphill side with the kickstand, there's the chance of dropping the motorcycle. and it's just been going. I've been doing this for years. You see that? There's that wobble again, and I try when I edit it. You know, when you do get that particular shot, the particular angle, and you're hitting a bump on the road to kind of minimize that. I do love this angle, although I don't always like looking at myself. It's not the most interesting footage, but I always just try to do that as perspective. So flipping between the three cameras gives you a really nice idea of what's possible. And you know, I do have one more Action 4 camera, and sometimes I'll show some footage where I'll put that down near my foot peg or see in the front wheel, so you're getting a little more action. Anyway, getting off the bike now. That's the experiment. I hope you enjoyed this. It's you know, it gives me an idea of what I can do, and I thought I'd share. Let's turn these things off. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, will you?